computer. Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Wherever You Go podcast. My name is Sam Bauer, and I am the moderator and host of this podcast. And I am so excited to introduce you all today to my friend Joy, and I'm probably going to say it wrong. I wrote it down.
Klohonatz.
Klohonatz. And Joy is a gratitude specialist. So, I want to do this podcast today on gratitude because it's the day before Thanksgiving, even though it'll get published a couple of days after Thanksgiving. Because I think gratitude is such a huge key in your success no matter what you're doing. It's a key to your happiness. It's a key to your success as a parent, as a spouse, as a business owner. Whatever you're doing, gratitude is always something that I speak to people about when they ask me to speak about, how to finish the year strong, or how to grow your business with success, or how to grow your pipeline and get leads. It always is part of my presentation because I think it's being grateful and being able to show that you're grateful is something that it's kind of like a lost art. And being able to say even just thank you sometimes can touch another person in such a way that is going to draw them closer to you and closer to the things that you believe. So Joy, thank you. I am so grateful that you are willing to spend a half an hour with me this morning to talk to my friends and listeners a little bit about gratitude. Because when I thought of this topic, you are the number one first name that popped into my head as somebody that I would like to interview. So I was so happy whenever you replied and said, yes, I'd love to do this. So thanks for being here. And can you just tell us a little bit about yourself and what your journey has looked like, and maybe how gratitude has played a role in you getting to the point that you are today? And obviously it's what you do now for a living, but share a little bit about that with us.
Awesome. Well, Sam, I would tell you, first of all, thank you for having me. I felt very honored when you messaged me and said, "Hey, would you like to be on my podcast?" I said, "Oh my gosh, she's asking me." So thank you. I'm going to pass it right back to you and say how grateful I am. And I'll tell you, November, the entire month of November is National Gratitude Month. Yes. So perfect. And we still have some days left in the month.
This will publish then before the end of the gratitude month.
Yeah, that's right. So it is. You can't be grateful enough, and I don't care what kind of a life that you have. And I certainly don't want controversies out there. Mine's better than yours, or you have no idea. We don't have any idea what everybody is going through in life, but there's always something to be grateful for. Right. Even if it's recognizing that, there's just always something to be grateful for. So, but yeah, I feel that the more that we can put out there how much we appreciate people, it's like a twofold kind of thing. Number one, we do greatly appreciate people. And when you recognize other people for it, all of a sudden now they're appreciative that you've done it to them. It's like a ripple effect. It's just like totally a ripple effect when you show any kind of gratitude towards anybody for anything. And that's why I love what I do, because I share that with physical greeting cards, and just getting a card to somebody, along with many other things that I do. But where this journey all started with me, I came from a background of living in a country girl. I really didn't get out too much other than the schools and the abstract activities. But once I went through college, I started to do a career in retail management. And
that's hard.
I actually, when I started, it was with Kmart Corporation, which sadly they're not around much anymore, but when I started way back in the day, I won't even give you dates, there was very few women in this arena. Of management.
Right. Yeah.
And it really wasn't. So when I finally, after a couple of years of training as a trainee, and I got my first Kmart store, just a few employees. I want to say few, there's like 27, 28, because it was one of the smaller stores. And when I got my first store as a general store manager, I was one of 7 women in the country to ever manage a store
Wow.
yet. And so my priority in running that store was to make the customers happy. I mean, the
Yeah.
customers are your lifeblood. I don't care whatever you do. I mean, you gotta make them happy. And of course, you have to make your employees happy too. They have to like what they do in there. But anyways, a funny story is when I first started with them, whenever there was a customer complaint, I would always have the employee write them a letter of apology.
Okay.
And
That's
and I think about
unique.
that now. It's like, I don't know if anybody ever do that now. But the thing was, it wasn't that I had a philosophy that the customer was always right. There was just always the right way to handle the customer. And if you can't do that, then you turn it over to somebody who can. And that's what I ran. I ran 4 different stores in my career with them, and that was the philosophy. And as a result of that, I had a lot of customer service awards. The whole store did, because we had a gratitude, appreciation for those customers. We did take care of them, and we made sure we listened to them. And again, I stress it wasn't that they were always right. There was just a
Yeah.
right way to kind of handled. So fast forward after I left that career and started in independent, entrepreneurship. I was actually in front of a Kmart ringing a bell for Salvation Army through one of the civic groups I belonged to. And we had all these candy canes left
Yeah.
over. And it was like, what are we going to do? I mean, I was at the end of the time frame that we were going to be there. We were handing them out as people, donated.
Right. Yeah.
But it was like, I have an idea. And I grabbed a handful of those candy canes and I walked in the store. And what I did is I handed them to the employees, each of the employees, and just said, thank you for your service. Thanks for your hard work this time of year. Because I know how hard it is. I've been there, done that,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I
Yeah.
want to tell you how that lit their faces. And what that did was like amazing. Now that
Yeah.
has been 7 years ago. And to this day, I have candy canes in the console of my car. And there's organizations that I'm a part of. They call it's time for the candy cane brigade, and I
I
have
love
people
that.
that totally do that. And I
And
said,
I
it's
got
not,
to
you're not playing
experience
Santa
that.
Claus. You're saying
Yeah.
thank you. You're saying,
Because
I appreciate what you're doing. I appreciate your hard work. And it is amazing how it changes somebody's the whole demeanor, and it's always a fun challenge when it's somebody you can tell is having a bad day,
yes.
and you hand them this candy cane. Hey, thanks for your hard work. And it's just like, boom. And whether that lasted 5 minutes or whether it lasted all day, you
Yeah.
made an impact.
Yeah. And I love that. And I got to experience that whenever I was in a networking group with you and you had handed out candy canes and asked everybody just take 1 candy cane or 2 candy canes and hand it out to somebody that you meet, maybe that's working in retail or, wherever it was. And I took that challenge and it was very, just a tiny piece of candy and a thank you that probably made their entire day.
Mhm, mhm.
And made somebody feel appreciated not just by their employer but by a consumer.
Yeah.
I think that can be where those lines divide, right? With that whole the customer's always right. Well, the customer can sometimes be a pain in the neck, right? So when the customer tells you thank you and genuinely appreciates, I know even for me in my career, I sell something that's really looked at as a commodity and kind of people don't love buying what I sell because they're legally obligated to do so. And so a lot of times people just, look at the price or whatever and move on. But when there's somebody that genuinely appreciates the work I've done for them, it makes me want to do it. That's what fuels me. That's what makes me say, okay, like I'm doing something good. I'm helping people. And it is appreciated, maybe not by everybody, but by those few. So I love that, Joy. And I love that as consumers, I think too, sometimes we feel like we should always be right. Right.
Oh yeah.
That's I'm spending my money here, you're going to give me what I want. And it's kind of that entitlement thing. So it is.
Yeah, it is.
Like
It is.
the people serving you are human.
Yeah, they're like real people. That's like, I tell people all the time, I said that telemarketer that calls you, about your car insurance, or not car insurance, but your
I don't do that.
you got me thinking, your Oh my
Your car
gosh.
warranty, your car.
Warranty. Oh my gosh. Well, yeah, the warranty, you know. And I tell this story all the time. It says I got a call from a lady one time, you know, about this. And usually I just say, hey, I don't have that car anymore, hang up, you know, and
Yeah,
it's just that I'm mad at myself when I do that because they're just doing a job, you know.
yeah,
But one day I just let her talk. You know, it wasn't automated. It was like a real person. You know, I just let her go through the whole process about the thing. And I just took a deep breath and I told her, I said, ma'am, I said, I haven't owned this car for 4 years. I said,
yeah.
can you just take me off the call list? And it was so funny. I could tell at the other end, she took a deep breath herself and she says, I know, honey, I get these calls too. And I thought to myself, you know, and it's just like, so when you catch yourself being that way, people just, they're just doing a job, you know, they're just getting paid to do something. Don't yell at them, you know, I
Yeah.
mean, don't be mean to them because they're doing what they have to do,
To
you
try to
know?
make a living, right? Try to pay their bills
Yeah,
and
yeah,
put food on their table. And yeah, I think especially right now, right? The world is short staffed. And so it's easy to go to a restaurant and be frustrated because the service isn't what you're used
yes,
to. And it takes longer to get your food and you might have to stand and wait longer to get your table. And, you know, but the people who are there are the ones that showed up. They're
that's
the ones,
right.
yeah, I mean, it's can be frustrating, but I'm actually finding it easier to give grace to people now than ever because they're there. They showed up and they're working for their money and they're working for their family. And I feel like I'm tipping more than I've ever tipped in the service
Yep.
than it's ever been.
Yeah, I know. I know. But during the whole COVID, whenever you ordered out, yeah, I mean, because I made a point that you just because I didn't want to cook, you know, but it's like at least 2 days a week we order from a local restaurant, you know, and we
Yep.
brought it in. And it was like, you know, so I was already tipping higher during this whole process because somebody went to work, somebody fixes, somebody brought it to you, you know, and all that kind of thing. And it's just kind of carried over into this year, you know, doing the same thing at the restaurants. But you're 100% right. These people that are working, they are working and they're working hard and they're working more
Yeah.
than probably they want to work, you know,
Right.
kind of thing. So gosh, tell them thank you. You know,
Yep.
just tell them how much you appreciate it. You know, it's just it's amazing what those kind words can do to people.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be money, right? Like, I mean, we're talking about tipping, but like, just like you said, saying thank you. My 7-year-old, or I guess she's 8 now, daughter is like, I don't know where she got this skill or this gift. I do know where she got it. She got it straight from God because this gift is a gift that most people don't have naturally. She will compliment every person she interacts with. And it's a sincere,
So awesome.
different I mean, we'll be at Walmart and she'll like the cashier's earrings and she'll tell her how pretty her earrings are. Or we'll be out and she'll tell somebody I love your glasses. Those glasses are great, you know, or your hair looks beautiful. Like we'll see somebody with like, you know, bright purple hair or whatever. And Andy's, your hair is beautiful. And it's genuine and it's sincere. And I mean, I keep telling her, like, don't lose that gift. Don't let anybody shush you because you and those little things, she has no clue she's doing it. She's just recognizing something she likes and vocalizing it.
Yes,
Her
yes.
to shift the entire attitude of people that we've interacted with. And it's just a little kid, you know, being sincere. And
Oh my gosh. And how old is she?
she's 8 now.
8. That's like amazing. That is
It's
like, oh my gosh, don't let anybody ever take that sunshine away from her. I mean, because that is such a gift. It is
yeah,
the little things and it's the genuine, you know, I mean, nothing makes you more crazy when people do say something, but they're not even looking at you. You know, it's just kind of like they're doing it because it's automatic. Oh, thanks for that, you know, or you're at the bank and the little thing comes down and you know, and you know, and they say thank you, and you say, okay, thanks. You know, I mean, you make it real.
yeah,
Look at them. That's another place to put a candy cane too, by the way, in one of those little things that you put your checks or your deposit
yeah. In
in.
the bank,
Shoots up there, put
the
his candy
tubes.
cane. Yeah, I had someone the other day say, hey, you left your candy cane in there. I said, no, it's for you, thank you. So
Yeah,
these candy
it's
canes are a lot of fun. 12
it,
cents 12 cents, you can change somebody's day.
yeah, that's amazing. And it is,
Yeah.
it's little things. And I've also, have you noticed though, like people becoming uncomfortable with it? Because I've had some times where I've tried to give things away or like done something nice for somebody and it makes them so uncomfortable. Like they're like, oh, I can't take this, and it's nothing big. I mean, for example, a few years ago at Mingle on Main in Saxonburg, my pastor and I were doing the hot dog stand at the church, but we were right next to like the lobster truck. So everybody was going to get the lobster sandwiches, the po' boys. And, but the line was super long. And we were like, well, nobody's buying our hot dogs. Let's give them to people so they can have a snack while they're waiting to get their $30 lobster sandwich. People were so uncomfortable. Like I mean, it was crazy. We were laughing about it almost. Like, do you think they think we're going to try to make them like find Jesus in this hot dog? Because we were just, hey, do you guys want a hot dog? We have them. They're going to get thrown away if they don't get eaten. Take one and have it for a snack while you wait. And most people felt compelled to give a donation. We were like, no, we're really genuinely like, we want to get rid of the hot dog.
Yeah.
So have you found that at all? I'm like, how?
Well, it kind of twofold. I mean, I think sometimes, people think that when you're given something, you have to give something back. Right. And they don't want to put themselves in that position. And then the other thing is, I do think COVID has kind of done some things for us too. They've kind of made us a little bit more cautious for somebody handing you something.
Yeah. Well, this was way prior to COVID, that example.
That was way prior. Yeah. Because I think because I know last year trying to do the candy cane thing was really difficult to do.
I bet.
Because because people were kind of going through that. But I do think a lot of it, Sam, is the fact that people don't know how to accept the gift.
Yeah.
And
like accepting a compliment, right?
And they think there needs to be a repercussion from it. I mean, something reciprocal from it, that you have to give something back with that. And I think we're all guilty of that. I mean, I know that I've been guilty of that too, sometimes on when somebody has given me a gift, I need to accept it graciously, and even, I mean, it's just kind of a twofold on how people receive, kind of thing. And, the interesting thing, sometimes when I talk on the kindness and giving back and stuff, and I say to people at the end of it, I said, what do you think is the hardest 2 words to say? Or I start at the beginning, someone say, oh, thank you right away, or I'm sorry, but it really is, you're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah. And, and it's like, you cannot say you're welcome without a smile on your face, first of all. So think about yourself too, how you're giving it out to them, and they're saying, thank you. Just say you're welcome back, and walk away, or what so they don't think like they have to do something back.
Yeah. I feel like most of my giving that like I've had success with has been like almost secret. Like I do it and then I run. People are stuck with it. Like you're stuck with my gift and you don't know who gave it to you because you don't know me, right?
Okay. That's like going through the drive-through when you pay for somebody behind you. Yes. I'm like this like super little kid with this thing, right? I'll do it. And I'm like pulling away, I'm inching away, and I'm waiting for them to get to that window when they go to pay. And the moment that that person's saying, hey, that person in front of you just paid for your meal, and what they must be feeling when that happens. And I giggle because I want to get away. I don't want them to try to catch me.
Right. Right. Yeah, no, I've done that. It's funny. I did it at the coffee shop a few years ago. And the lady was behind me. So I knew she was behind me, and I didn't even pay for it. I had a free one because I bought so many coffees. And so I said, I want to use this to buy the lady behind me's coffee. And I, took off, and I was probably a block away, and I heard, thank you. You're welcome. But it does, it made my day. Like when I get the opportunity and I'm being thoughtful enough to think to do it, because we're busy, right? It doesn't always cross it tends to cross my mind after the fact. And then I'm like, oh, I missed an opportunity.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be more thoughtful about it, because when I do it, even if it was free, it costed me nothing to do that. It made my whole day. I still laugh about that. So like, thank you, like coming up the street.
Oh, that's fun. That's fun. Yeah, I know one time I was speaking at it was on kindness and appreciation and gratitude. And I was on my way to the meeting. It was in Pittsburgh. I live out here out in the Westmoreland area. And I thought, okay, And it was on World Kindness Day, which actually was November 13th, by the way. And so
that's
it's
good to
like,
know.
oh, it was on that day. And I knew it was like, so I was going to feed it into my conversation. And I thought, well, I'm going to go through McDonald's and get a cup of tea. I didn't need a tea because I drink decaf and they don't have decaf there,
Got
so,
it.
but I was kind of like, but I'm going to do it because I wanted somebody to come behind me. I wanted to take that opportunity to use it as an immediate example from an hour ago, right?
Got it.
So I get in this McDonald's, it's a double line to begin with, right? And I wait and I wait, I pay for my tea, I go to my, nobody ever came behind me. It was just a timing where nobody was so I was like, well, I can't. And so at that point I had just extra cash in my little console there. And I just gave the lady at the windows an extra tip and say, hey, enjoy your day. Of course, have a
Yeah.
candy cane to give with her too,
Yeah.
just enjoy, Jay. Thanks for your service, enjoy that.
Yeah.
But it was so funny because my full intent was to buy that person's coffee.
And it backfired.
There's nobody
Our best
there,
laid
yeah.
plans. So I think part of gratitude is definitely giving to others and showing them how much we appreciate them. But then I think part of gratitude too, and how we can really grow through gratitude, is being grateful internally for the things that happen. And I think it was you that spoke to this at one of our meetings a while ago, and I could be wrong, but it was like, every day write down 3 things that you're grateful for and see how that changes your life. And my daily journal actually, or my daily planner, not journal, but actually has an area for that now. And it's part of the reason I rebought that daily planner for the next year. But can you speak a little bit to that and how that can really shift your attitude? And
Yeah, for
Right.
sure. And I'm the one that does it at nighttime, so no matter what kind of day that I've had, I've got my journal beside my bedside and I write down 5 things I was grateful for. And it can't be just simple. I'm gonna say it can't be, it shouldn't always be, oh, the weather's nice, or I had a good,
Right.
it's not, I mean,
Something
really
specific.
think about things that you were grateful for. I was really grateful that my father-in-law, he's 94, lives with us now, that he had a good day, and
Yes.
that we enjoyed working on the puzzle together, or I'm very grateful my son and daughter, who don't even live here, were able to did a little traveling and made it home safely. So it puts you in a mind that no matter what kind of day you're having, you sometimes you might have to dig a little deeper to find those things that you're grateful for. But at the end of the day, when you're going to bed and you're laying that head on your pillow, you have things to be grateful for. Now, a lot of people do that first thing in the morning,
Okay.
and I don't do that, but I should do that because I see there's value in that and starting your day out that way.
Right.
And I guess in a way, I don't write things down, but in a way I do start out that way because I do, with the business I have with the cards, I will send 3 or 4 or 5 cards out a day, first thing in
Okay.
the morning, of people
Yep.
that have come to my mind or saw something on Facebook that I can celebrate with them. Because
Yep.
even when you celebrate with people, that's showing appreciation for them putting it out there. That gave you an opportunity to smile at something that was awesome for them, that was important to them. And now I can just turn it right around and put it in tangible form for them, kind of thing. And then that turns around and does something for you.
Yeah. And I think it changes the way you feel about people too. I don't know. I've recently started this thing where marriage is hard. I'm just going to put this like disclaimer out there, right? And we don't always feel like happy feelings towards our spouse. There are moments where you're
Exactly.
like, oh my gosh, like what is happening right now? Or why did you do that? Or why do you think this way? Or so one of the things I've started doing is when I am frustrated with my husband, which isn't that often, but when I am, I write down 3 things I love about him and 3 things that I'm grateful for about him. And it can never, so my role in myself is it can never be the same thing. So I can't every time I'm frustrated, write the same 3 things down. But it helps me a lot to remember like, yeah, I might be frustrated with him because he forgot something or said something the wrong way that didn't make me feel happy. But I'm grateful for him because of this, this, and this. And he's an amazing man and I'm lucky to love him. And so that has helped me to like diffuse my own feelings sometimes of like, I just want to hit him in the head with a pot or pan or whatever. to like, hey, this is the man I married and this is why I married him. And we're never going to be perfect and for each other all the time. But
Mhm.
I don't know if you've ever like done anything like that or have any experiences with anything like that. But it definitely, it to me, like, we can get, when we live with somebody, we're with somebody all the time, we can get frustrated at something small and forget like all these other wonderful things.
Oh, you're so right. You're 100% right on that. And although I don't do the writing of the three things down, what I do in a scenario, in a situation like that, is I really do think, I do really do. I look at the gravity of the situation.
Right.
Is it something that's going to be important 5 minutes from now, 5 days from now, 5 years
Yeah.
from now, or 5 months from now, but that all comes back to what makes it not important is the fact that the things that you're grateful about them are much more powerful.
Yes.
So it's so I guess in a way I'm kind of doing it, but I'm not putting it down on paper, and that's really good idea. So thank you for that. I will
Yeah,
start
no,
writing that. Yeah.
I heard it somewhere recently and I just started doing it in the last few months. And I've like have at least 3 times where I have in my little journal, like, cause I just scratch whatever I'm thinking of, where I had written them. And then you can also look back on them and you're like, just grateful that you've got this person, that you've got all these things that you're grateful about, that,
Yeah.
they love you. And it's a great reminder to be, grateful in your relationships. And I know as and I'm sure you experienced this as an employer when you were in your Kmart days and you had a big team of people. It's easy to become frustrated with employees whenever they do something weird, or like it's not exactly like the way you wanted it, or they start
Right.
attitude. And so I used to practice that a lot when I was in my corporate role. Was okay. Whew, I need to take a breath and remember, like, this is one instance, but I'm grateful for them for this, this, and this, and they're doing it overall a great job. So to your point, is the weight of that, is the magnitude of whatever just happened enough for me to like have to have a discussion with them? Or is it
Mhm.
me like having a cruddy day and it annoyed me? Or, are the
Yeah.
things that they're doing well big enough to kind of offset this little thing?
Yeah. As we marriage counselor here too, something I heard recently, and I want to, I'm going to start implementing this, with my husband and I as well, is in the evenings on the same line of gratitude is take that journal and each of you put down a couple things from your day and do it as a couple.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
Doesn't that sound like a great idea?
Yeah, because then
Just recently
minutes
I heard
together.
that, yeah,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know,
because I know with us, like, I mean, there are days it feels like we don't talk. We are
I
like
know, I
ships in the
know.
night. He works long hours, I work long hours, we have the kids, we have stuff going on. So yeah, just taking those couple minutes to kind of like
Yeah, yeah.
share.
Yeah, because I know for us, our dynamic is different here now. My husband actually just retired in August.
Yay,
So now he had already
congratulations.
been working at home for the year, during COVID.
Right.
And when COVID hit, his dad, who's 94, we took him in during COVID thinking that it was a temporary thing, but he was with us for just like 2 weeks. And it's like, you know what? He shouldn't be living by himself.
Got it.
So we became like instant caretakers,
Wow.
so and then my husband retired in August. So you talk about all the dynamics changing.
Yeah.
So the importance of the two of us still finding that gratitude for each other and the whole situation it's important. It needs to be a big part of our lives.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it being able to do that and share that with the people that you love too, it changes your attitude and your dynamic towards each other as well. I think being able to share, gratefulness. And I know for Rob and I, we've had encounters with people, couples who have been so unbelievably kind to us and generous. And one of our goals is we're going to be like those people, throughout our lives. And when we can help other people or young families, we're going to do that.
Mhm.
That's kind of been part of our journey is, we always kind of laugh and say, well, we can't wait till we get there. But as we're like getting there, we find ourselves like, oh, this person needs, their door fixed. Like Rob runs over and
Mhm.
fixes their door. Like these people need, and we're doing like little things as we go. But sharing that together and the recognizing when other people are sharing with you, and then you guys share that together and talk about it, it just makes you, it just changes, when you start to realize how much good there is in the world. And,
Exactly.
the stuff you see on the news or on social media, and, there's all this bad stuff going on, but like human beings as individuals and couples and families are doing amazingly kind and wonderful things for each other. We just have to open our eyes and then, to your point, acknowledge it. So I think that's powerful.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah. So what have you had like on your journey? Because you deal with gratitude every day, and you're amazing at it. I mean, I get these sweet surprises in my mail at least once a month, probably more than that. And it might just be like a picture that like meant a lot to me, or like a memory, or I hit a milestone in my business, enjoy it. I mean, constantly is I'm like, how does she even like, you're just amazing. But how have you seen like lives changed, or how has it changed your life?
Well, my life, it's just, it lifts me up because, when you do it for the right reasons, not because it's a business or you're looking for them to be part of your business or them to do the same thing, it's reflected in the cards that you send. I just will tell you that. I mean, it just is. So you do it just for the right reasons. And those right reasons are totally the other person, thinking about the other person, celebrating with the other person. Those that are on social media like yourself, you're the lucky. I mean, you hear from me more because it's fun looking at the pictures and seeing the wonderful things you're doing and your family's doing. And because if it's important to you, then hey, I'm going to give you something to make it important there too, so you have something tangible. And I hear all the time people saying, I would have never thought to put that picture in print. Thank you. Kind of thing. So how that's done for me, it just lifts me up. I don't care what kind of day I'm having. I make sure that I take time. And sometimes it's like I want to say forcing yourself, but you could just have so much going on and so many other things that are what you feel at the moment are more crucial, get taken care of, and some might be, but at the same time, I know when I can take that little bit of peace and look at somebody else and celebrate somebody else, it changes me around.
Yeah.
It really changes me around. The people on the receiving end, oh my gosh, I've had people that have called me in tears. That have gotten a card and it was just a simple, it wasn't even a picture card. It was just a simple, hey, sunshine, thinking about you. Hope you have a good day, kind of thing. Because I do believe that when you're prompted with somebody's thoughts, I mean, you're prompted to you're thinking of somebody, you're being prompted that person. You might not thought of them for like years, and you act on that prompting. And like I'm lucky to have a system that is right there for me and I can send something to them, but they don't get it like right away. At the moment I'm getting that prompting, they're going to get it on the day God wants them to get it, and it's going to be a day that they needed it, and it's going to be a day that is going to lift them up too, kind of thing. So I know I've been doing this long enough to know without a doubt that if I'm prompted to send something to somebody, there's a reason they want that I need to do it, and don't pass that up. Don't pass it away. Don't forget about it. Don't wait till it's too late, kind of thing. And, but when you get those calls, and you get those calls and you get those messages from people that it turned their day around, or they were having such a bad day, then you're doing the right thing.
Yes. I think it's two key things that I took away from what you just said is doing it for the right reasons and following the prompt, because as business people, I've seen a lot of people say thanks or be gracious for because they want something in return. That's not the right reason. The right reason is like, I want you to be successful, and I want to tell you genuinely thank you from my heart. I don't want anything in return. And truly not wanting anything in return, I think is such a key. And I know some people have asked me even like, why do you do what you do? Like, why do you help people that can't help you? And I'm like, because I want to, I want them to be successful. I want everybody out there to be able to, feel good about themselves and if they're growing their business, I want them to be able to do that well. And if I can help and I don't, what does that say about me? but
Mhm.
then also following the prompt, which is so hard because not always, but sometimes it is so hard. Like you might be out in public and see a stranger crying, and you might in your heart feel a tug like, oh, I have tissues, I could hand them a tissue. That little tiny act of kindness could just change their day. The fact that somebody noticed them,
That's right. That's
cared
right.
enough. And so I would like to just encourage everybody that if you feel that tug on your heart, it's not fake. It's not an accident. It's not you overthinking. It is a tug from God saying, hey, go share my love with those people.
Yep.
And if you do
Yep.
that, you'll never regret it. And if they're not grateful, or they don't seem grateful, or they seem awkward about it, that's okay. That's
Yeah.
okay. Because it
Yeah.
might take them a minute. Maybe nobody's noticed them before, and maybe nobody's been kind to them like that before, and they didn't know what to do. But
Yeah.
guaranteed, after you guys part ways, it's still gonna have touched them. So like, I love what you say about following that prompt, because I think we all have had times where we've been tugged to do something or pressed to do something, we haven't done it. And
Mhm.
all I feel that after that is like, I missed an opportunity. I missed an opportunity to share God's love. And I could have maybe helped that, and I didn't. And what do you get to lose?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, it is. And, and that kind of goes down to the way our lives are like so busy, and going kind of circling back with the gratitude challenge, the gratitude journal in the evening or in the morning, that settles your mind a little bit, and it really makes you, put you in a different place, that it's opening up those promptings to come more. I'm telling, it's
Yes.
just amazing. Yeah, it's just amazing because you've allowed yourself to settle down and look at the grateful things that happen throughout the day. You go to bed peaceful, you wake up, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, you think of somebody's like, where did that come from? There's a reason why you're thinking of it. That's a prompting. You just act on those promptings. It's too late. God forbid, and we all go through this, it's like, how many times do we lose a loved one and we say to ourselves, why didn't I spend more time with them? Why didn't I, I could have, should have, you want that, a prompting turns that to where you can be, I don't want to say satisfied, but you can know that you acted at a time.
Yes. Yes. Yes, I've had both feelings, right? I've lost people where they have passed, and I've thought there's nothing more that I could have done to show that person that I love them. And the memories I have with them, I will cherish forever, because I have a ton of them. And I know that I'm blessed that God shared them with me as long as they did. And I've lost people who I thought, I wonder if they had any clue what they meant to me. And that it's hard. It's heartbreaking to think that I hope in my faith that when they get to heaven, they realize, because in heaven it's like, but then there's a part of me that's like, do I have to wait till I get to heaven now to tell them like how much I love them? So follow that prompt, because the prior experience is just such a more peaceful feeling. And so I love that you shared that.
Yeah.
I feel like we could talk forever.
I know. And we thought this was going to take a long time. I was like, what?
It flies, but I know we're over, I think, our half hour, but that's totally okay. And I hope everybody listening has enjoyed listening. And if you are interested in what Joy does, so she does send out cards, which is an amazing service where you can go online, you pay like a monthly fee, and you can go online and send out cards to anybody. And there's different levels. And I use this, I initially signed up for my business, but I send a lot of personal cards through Send Out Cards. And so Joy, is there a website or an email? Like, how can people reach you if they're interested in learning a little bit about Send Out Cards?
Yeah. And yeah, you can reach me. I'm going to give you my cell phone number. Just text me so I can send you a link, that you can go in and do it. And one thing that you mentioned there doesn't have to be a monthly fee anymore. I mean, you could just have the app on your phone and send a card whenever you want and just pay for the card then. And,
That's
you know,
awesome.
yeah. So you just can pay different prices for your cards. And we're not talking $8, $9 for a card. We're talking like $2.75, $2.55. And in some cases, even down as low as $1. So there's all kinds of things. I think everybody in the world should have this app on their phone, just because so when you get
Then
that
when you're
prompting,
prompted, you send that card out and you're good to go.
yeah, yes, I get that prompting, you can send it and go on. But anyways, my cell is 724-331-3335. And my website, if you want to go to the website and kind of search around and send a free card yourself also, is of course the sendoutcards.com, and then a / or /, whichever way you want to look at it, care with joy.
CARE with joy.
Yep. Care with joy. Yep.
All right. I'm going to put
Yeah.
that link in the, whenever I
Okay.
publish this
Okay.
as well.
Yeah.
That way anybody can find, and that's not why Joy joined me today. She actually had no clue I was going to ask her about her business, but I wanted to make sure that if anybody's interested in looking into that they know how they can get in touch with you. And thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
And I will end the podcast today, as I always do, with Joshua 1:9. Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened. Do not be dismayed. For the Lord your God is with you wherever you go.